Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ryan. I own and operate this 3D printing business from my home office in New Jersey. Got a pretty normal vlog for you guys today. It's gonna be packing some orders, answering some questions that were submitted over the last couple videos from you guys. So buckle in, I'll show you what it's like as a day in the life of a 3D print business owner doing this for the first time. So I have a set of snare drum coasters in black that needs to go out by tomorrow, and a 2-in-1 snare drum desk organizer in a deep silver sparkle color that needs to go out tomorrow as well. So I'm going to be printing a brand new base for the snare drum coasters because I just finally tweaked those settings to make the supports absolutely perfect to come off. So I can't wait to show you guys that. But then I'm also going to be printing the silver sparkle insert at like a 90% infill because I want to make it very, very deep and dark sparkle. And right now it's pretty, if I show you, it's pretty, I don't want to say translucent, but you can definitely see through it when like you can see light through it. So I want to make it darker so that way less light penetrates through it. And that's kind of just the finish that we're going for that the customer wants. So we're going to go ahead and get that queued up on the printers and we'll go from there. Okay, those printers are off doing their thing for those two products. While that's going on, I wanted to talk about what I had to do over the last week or so to tweak these support settings to make sure it was as easy and efficient to print. I went from about 30 to 40 minutes to clean one holder to about 5 to 10 now, and way less supports and way less filament. So it took a lot of trial and error, but I think at the end of all of this, there are two things that were the most important takeaways. One is that the top Z distance needs to be very dialed in when you are dealing with a lot of supports and a lot of small details connected to those supports. The top Z distance you kind of have to tweak depending on your model to find the sweet spot. So the supports are still supportive and holding up the model, but they're not held on too tight that it damages small details and they're hard to break away. So upon tweaking it, my best one that I had messed around with was 0.275 millimeters, and that's where it's at now. Provides me great support, but also is easy to pull these off and it doesn't damage those small details. The second takeaway is to use PETG as the interface layer. Once I did that, it changed the entire game. Obviously, it adds more time to the print because it's doing the filament swaps and it's not just one filament, it's swapping between the PETG and the PLA silk or the PLA, but it's only using it for the interface layers. So where the support meets the model itself is where the PETG will be used. It won't be used for the supports. It won't be used for the raft or the base, only for the support interface layer. So in the end, I did trade off printing time. It probably added 30 minutes of printing time, but it's saving me about 30 minutes per model after post-production. And not only that, but the models look so much better without me having to do the processing, the sanding, and all of that. There were nicks in it. There were dents. If I made any little mistake, it would show up. This stuff peeled away nicely. I take the heat gun, I blast it a little bit, I make sure it's all nice and smooth, and it's ready to go. So I'll show you that process once this one finishes up, and then we can go from there. But it's made it way more efficient for me, and will make it way more efficient for the consumer. So one of the top comments I've gotten across probably my last 6 videos is, Ryan, what the heck are you using to clean your build plates? And it looks a little weird, but basically I just use this build plate cleaner that I've downloaded off MakerWorld. It's this little blob. It has this screw top that puts these two pieces together, and I just cut this microfiber cloth and put it over it. And every like couple weeks, I just remove this, grab a new one, put it on, and that's good. And as a dish, I keep it in this, and I keep it by the printer. And I just pair that with this little bottle of isopropyl alcohol. Like, it's a little bit, I think it's 90%. Yeah, 90%. I switch between 91 and 70. Spray a little bit of this, clean this off, and I use that in between prints when I don't need to clean it like crazy. And yes, I do clean the build plate frequently with warm water and dish soap, a little bit, but that's only like if I'm having adhesion issues, but I don't really have that much adhesion issues with the Bambu printers. It's more so with the Creality. So it hasn't really been an issue. I clean the build plate with warm water and soap, I'd say maybe every 3 days. That's a lot. But I spray it down with isopropyl in this almost between every print. So that's something that I keep by. I feel like it's increased the longevity of the build plates, and it's also just increased the consistency of the prints. I know every time that if I do that, it's starting from the same baseline, and then I can deduce from there if there's a print failure. I know, okay, well, the build plate's clean, let me check something else. So just a way of checking all the boxes, making sure I'm consistent, and also the products are coming out consistently for the consumer. I get a lot of questions about what I use and tools wise for post-processing and post-production. The main things I use are really like sandpaper pieces and sanding sticks like this. I have a heat gun that I got for about 20 bucks on Amazon that blasts away little stringy parts or any like little areas that you want to get off prints. And then I have like a rotary tool or Dremel that I got on Amazon as well for 20 bucks that kind of gets the harder things that the sanding stick or the sandpaper can't get. So just a few things I use. I use them in a combination of ways for different prints, different materials. Some materials I don't use any of these at all because it's a little too abrasive. So really depends on the model, really depends on the small details, the large details, and you got to use it case by case basis. But all this stuff are things that I've used and learned to use by just watching things online, watching other YouTubers, watching other 3D print enthusiasts, and just learning from them. So if you have any questions about how to use these, I'll probably have another video soon and we can go from there with this. But yeah, this is basically how I use them and what I use. I also realized I spoke too soon, and I have 2 products behind me that I'm going to need to use those tools on anyway. So I'll just show you guys how I use them on this for an actual product that's going to be going out tomorrow. All right, so the dark silver sparkle insert finished up, and it is much, much better than the one previous. I like this. This was at 75% infill density. So with this, it makes it a little bit, actually completely non-translucent, and it's got that deeper color and deeper sparkle gradient to it, which I really, really like. So that came out really well. This is honestly, this is customer ready. This is exactly what they ordered, and I'm really comfortable with it. I'm gonna wait for the snare drum holder to come out and see if that one is a little bit easier to come off and which one has a nicer finish to it. But I'm very happy with that. All right, the holder finished up. Let's go ahead and get this off the plate, and I'm gonna show you my process of getting the supports off, heating it, polishing it, and getting it ready to ship. All right, so all the supports are off. Now I'm gonna go around it and clean up some of these just like almost like whisker-esque type of pieces that are left just to clean it up. Like some of this stuff. But all that's coming off pretty quick. It's just a matter of me seeing it and just getting rid of it, honestly. So
Jesus. Durability test.
all right, so that's pretty clean. I'm gonna go ahead and get the heat gun out and get it heated up.
Usually I'll wait for it to just heat up to the first level a little bit, and then just take it up to the second level and I'll start using it. So. Okay.
All right. So honestly, that was pretty damn awesome. That doesn't require any. I don't think I need to go over that with a sanding pick at all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it down with isopropyl because this. I read this online and I think I've seen it actually work in action, but I've read that it helps dissolve some of the little bit of marks on PLA prints. At the very least, it cleans it at least and leaves it a little bit shiny. So I'm okay with it. And there we have it. So we grab our coasters. That product ready to ship out and good to go. All right, now that the prints are done, I'm going to go ahead and get the boxes made up. So I'm going to ship these in 6x6x4 boxes that I get from Uline. And I know people are going to probably critique on my tape technique and then I should get a tape gun or something. But honestly, I really like these Amazon tape rolls. They're pretty cheap. And I don't really use that much tape, you know, like I don't really need to. Now that the boxes are made, I'm going to go ahead and get the shipping labels and the packing slips printed out. One thing I completely forgot to do was put bumpers on this clear holder, this snare drum holder. The coasters already had them because they were already made, but if they were fresh off the printer, I would have to add them to this as well. So that's good to go. All right, now that we have the packing slips and the shipping labels, I go ahead and I usually write a personalized message on each of the packing labels. That way, I just like it. I just like adding that little extra touch. And then I usually send this thanks for supporting my small business. I get these in like packs of 180 for like $3 on Amazon. So I think they're great to just throw in there. So gonna go ahead and grab some packing material. I just use this honeycomb stuff that I find on Amazon. Okay. Oh, one down. Okay. Next one. Same setup. Shipping label, packing slip. Grab some packing material. All that needed to be done now was go on to Etsy and schedule a pickup with USPS for tomorrow. Put these on my front porch and they're good to go. That's all I got for today's video. If you made it to this point, I can't thank you enough for your support. Please like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this content. And as always, leave your feedback down below in the comments. I'd love to hear it, whether it's good, bad, or anything at all. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.